You've come on here, you've invited me onto the channel, you've disagreed with me, you've had the final decision on where these people go, and you put these in world class. I'm fuming.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Fournilwrittenalloverit. Thanks for being with us yet again. We've got a very special guest with us. Not only is he a YouTube star in the making, he also happens to be one of my best pals, both on and off the screen. Smithy boy's here, how you doing, mate?
Unreal, mate, we make a return. Unreal to be back.
That was a good introduction, wasn't it?
Mate, I think you've hyped me up a little bit too much.
What are we doing today, son?
Mate, we are ranking the League One fans, putting them in a little bit of a tier list. It's going to be very interesting. We're probably going to upset a few people, so we do apologise in advance, but I'm absolutely buzzing to make this video.
The first team we're going for...
Do you know what's worse about this as well? We've got to come to a joint decision. So
we have, and we're not very decisive boys, are we, me?
We're not.
So, although, I think we can probably agree on the first one, which is Accrington Stanley. The worst average home attendance in the league this season, or last season. So there's only really one answer, isn't there, I'm thinking?
Mate, yeah. Mate, well, to be quite honest, it's quite difficult for me to say, because, well, you've mentioned, obviously, the worst home average attendance. However, away, when they came to the Rotherham ground, there was absolutely, well, they weren't the best, to be quite honest. However, when they scored an overhead kick, and it ruined our unbeaten run, and it were absolute limbs. So although there weren't many there, it were actually pretty decent. But in terms of numbers and in terms of away support, it's probably not up there.
Almost as bad as St Mary's, isn't it?
Unfortunately so.
We should have said actually at the start of this, we've got the tiers. We've got world class at the top, loud, occasional singing, which is kind of the middle ground, quiet and almost bad as St Mary's, and I think Accrington fit quite nicely. The next one up, my son, is Bolton. Now this is a weird one because we actually experienced Bolton together, didn't we, on this channel?
Mate, away, they've actually got decent support. Well, they're actually a massive club, aren't they? However, when we went at home, you could hear a pin drop. You can hear this pen clicking more than you could hear noise in the Bolton Stadium.
On the balance of that, I'm thinking middle tier then. Do we have to go occasional singing?
Yeah, because when they score as well, I've been before with Rotherham and it's decent. When they score, it's actually pretty decent. They've got that crazy corner as well, which is obviously famous if you're a Bolton fan to sit in that corner if you want a little bit of an atmosphere. But I've got to agree with you on that one. Occasional singing for Bolton.
Burton Albion, you had a horrendous experience at this season. We're not going to mention that too much. Away from home, we should say. I think they're our first quiet team of the video. I don't know how you're feeling.
Yeah, so they're not actually... This is a bit of an example where I'm probably going to disagree a little bit, because for us, it's not actually that far away from Rotherham, but for you, it's absolutely miles away. So this is, well, just a bit of an example where we're probably going to disagree. But it's quite hard to say because they absolutely battered us away. At home, when they come to the Rotherham ground, understandably they were quite quiet, but when they scored it were quite good. So I don't know what you think about this, but I'm going with quiet.
I'm going with quiet as well. That
does not sound convincing.
No, because the only reason why I would have gone almost as bad as St Mary's is because I think they brought something like 96 away fans to Fratton Park on a Tuesday night, which, I mean, Burton's not exactly like Morecambe, for example, is it? It's not the other end of the country. They are Midlands based, aren't they? So it's not far from Derby, Burton, but we're going to go, obviously, Smithy Boy has an awful lot of influence on this channel and on myself as a human being, so for that reason, we're going to go quiet. Cambridge United are next up now. If Fusion's watching this, he will be a massive advocate for Cambridge United because I know he has a special relationship with their supporters. I actually think these boys are underrated, James. I don't know about you.
Do you? Because I don't know if they are. Because when we went, you've been, haven't you? Because I've watched your video and obviously I remember when you went. The pitch is so far away from the actual away end, but it's quite hard to say because they did lose and I didn't really hear them sing. However, when they come away, they didn't bring many fans at all. So I'll probably hinder towards going with quiet again. If you're saying they're underrated.
We're going to bump them into occasional singing because they had that away day at St James's Park and obviously it's a massive cup final sort of day for them. But they have given us evidence as Cambridge United fans. I know there may be a couple watching of them being pretty decent, so we're going to go for occasional singing. Next up's Charlton Athletic. I think we could be looking at our first loud team of the video. I think you're going to be in agreement. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, massive club, great fans, great away day as well. Mate, absolutely agree.
The Valley's class, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's such an old ground, but it's quite nice. And when they're doing well as well, it can get rocking in there. So yeah, no, they are. They've got decent fans.
Charlton Athletic, first loud team of the vid. Right, oh no, the light's gone off. Oh.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen. So the next one we've got for yourself is Cheltenham. Personally, when they come to the Rotherham ground, like I say, they wasn't really the best. They're not a massive club, so obviously you wouldn't expect there to bring a lot of fans. However, when we played them away, their fans were not very happy. So as you can imagine, they were singing quite a few songs to us. We were giving it them back. So I'd go with quiet. I won't say they're as bad as St Mary's because essentially, like I say, the away day was class and I was actually giving it to the Rotherham fans and just a bit of banter between the two clubs. However, when they come away, it wasn't really the best. So I'd go with quiet. I don't know about yourself, 4-0.
Yeah, let's go quiet, mate. I'm happy with that. I mean, there were points where you could hear a pin drop when we went to their place, but it's a nice little ground actually. I like it there, and they've got a nice back. It's quite pleasant, isn't it? It's quite a nice part of the world, Cheltenham. So,
mate, that's what I was literally going to say.
What, that it's pleasant?
Yeah, well, not in that word. I'm not that upper class, you know what I mean? But I was going to say it's a decent sort of area.
Crewe is not so much of a decent area, unfortunately. Sorry if you're from Crewe, but I think it's probably the same tier of Cheltenham, aren't they, Crewe?
I could see that, because don't know if you remember when Rotherham played them, we had a bit of an incident with the linesman and the Crewe fans were absolutely giving us some right stick, so they were actually pretty good when we played them away.
Crewe have got a bit of a crew, haven't they?
Well, literally. Excuse the pun. Quiet.
We'll go for quiet for Crewe. Although they have got a bit of a crew, I think we'll stick with quiet. And also, it doesn't help. When we went there, they were pretty much relegated as well. It was a Tuesday night, and we beat them 3-1, and it was pretty much curtains for them. So it's not an awful lot for them to be singing about. So it is understandable. Next one up's Doncaster Rovers. I think this is another one that's going in quiet, and I know they're local to you, so you can give us a little bit of an insight.
Don't annoy me, 4-0. Don't annoy me. They've got to go in as bad as St Mary's. Absolutely awful. Rotherham rivals. Their biggest rival is Rotherham United. They came to us, they didn't even sell out. When we went to them, didn't even sell out, and we absolutely battered them. So I'm not having that 4-0. They're going in as bad as St Mary's, and I'm demanding it.
Well, I've just put them in the bottom tier for you. I'm sorry to Daniel if he's watching, he won't be very happy. The next one, my mate Daniel won't be happy, mate. He won't be happy. Right, the next one's Fleetwood Town. Big Ben Nappers' team. I think these boys deserve a little bit more credit than they get, Smithy boy. I don't know how you're feeling.
Yeah, so obviously they're not a big town. Is it a town? I think it is. But it's not a big area of the world.
Oh my word! Look at the badge. It's called Fleetwood Town.
Oh yeah. Bloody neck. I do apologise to Ben Napman. Really do apologise for all comments made in that previous statement. But however, when they come away, they did bring a lot, but they beat us when we went away, and I'm not even going to lie, they've actually got a decent home atmosphere. I think that's what lifts it for me. Occasional singing, I'd probably say for myself.
Oh, big for the COD Army. I think I'm going to agree with you. Occasional singing. Right, we're back down to the depths. They're now in League 2. Unfortunately, it's Gillingham who always give away fans a bit of a struggle in terms of generating an away atmosphere, given it's such an open stand. However, the Millers didn't have trouble with that this season. We all know what happened on the last day, winning promotion, all that kind of thing.
Serious goosebumps.
There were serious goosebumps. We had a great moment in the last minute against Gillingham as well for our away game. So happy memories for the pair of us. The guys from Gills in the Blood TV may be watching this, so be careful what you say, James, but give us an honest view. Where are we putting Gillingham?
Mate, I don't really know. It's a bit, well, I do know actually, I've made my mind up. As bad as St Mary's, mate. The reason being, because when you're probably going to disagree, but when they come to Rotherham, like I say, yet again, really didn't bring that many fans, but it is absolutely miles away. It's on the side of London, so I can obviously see where they're coming from. However, when we played them away, I know we won 2-0, but they had the chance to stay up that day if a couple of results went their way, and they didn't really make too much of an atmosphere. I'd personally say as bad as St Mary's, but I feel like you're going to put me quiet. I don't know why.
I think we'll go quiet on this occasion. I think we'll go quiet.
What are you playing at?
Mate, I'm absolutely fuming. Who give you the power? Hey mate, if this was on my channel, I can't wait for when we film videos on my channel, because this will not be happening.
Stay tuned for next week and you can have all your glory, mate. There you go. We'll go. Oh, you made me want to drop them down now. No, I want to stick to my guns. We'll stick with quiet for Gillingham, because they bought about 1,000 to Fratton Park, I think. Bit of a split, but we were hoping we'd have some splits. So there we go. Right, Right, next up on the list are the Tractor Boys, the mighty Ipswich Town.
Now we do need to be careful.
Oh no,
Alex
the
Griffin.
lights.
The light's gone off! Now, we really do need to be careful. The Tractor Boys, Ipswich Town, Alex Griffin, the main man. It's a bit of a difficult one. They did come to us. We played them away. We won away. They weren't that bad, to be fair. They are a big club. You've got to give it them. They've got a lot of supporters. I do feel like they need to be higher. Not world class, I wouldn't say the world class, but I'd say definitely loud.
That is very interesting because I think Ipswich Town have a world class fan base, James, I'm afraid.
But are you on about fans as in how loud they are? Are you on about how the numbers basically? Because in terms of numbers, I can see where you're coming from, but in terms of how loud they are, they wasn't really the best. Griff Mum and Alex Griffin's not going to be happy with my comments here, but I feel like it just evens it out to be loud.
What I would say for Ipswich, they'd sold out the away end at Fratton. Oh my god, it's gone off again.
I can actually see where you're coming from with world class. You've kind of tempted me to boost them up a little bit.
First fan base of the day, Ipswich Town are world class. Lincoln City are next up on the list. I think these are an underrated fan base as well. I would probably go in at occasional singing, James. I don't know how you're feeling.
Mate, we also experienced this together, which was absolutely mental. Quality from the Pompey away fans. When we went together, I don't think they sang as much as when I went with Rotherham. They've got the drummer as well. They've got that again. They've got a bit of a corner. I forgot what it's called. I'll go with you with occasional singing. That's quite a reasonable suggestion.
MK Dons, I think we just go straight in almost as bad as St Mary's and move on. I know they've had a fantastic season last year and they'll probably have a similar thing again if they can hold on to Scott Twine. I know there's interest elsewhere for him, but probably almost as bad as St Mary's, I reckon.
Mate, 100% agree with you on that one. We battered them, I think it was 3-0. Just their own support is just lacks so much. Even their away, yeah, no mate. No further comments need to be made.
Morecambe are next up on the list. I think they probably go in the almost as bad as St Mary's, or have you got some underlying feeling about Morecambe?
Mate, we're racking up quite a big list in this almost as bad as St Mary's, but I absolutely agree with you. We played them on a Tuesday night. Mate, I actually got a ticket in the box. One of my mates sorted me out, absolute legend. But I could literally, because where the Rotherham box is on the halfway line, you could see absolutely everyone in that away end. Like, you could probably count them, to be fair. So no, it's almost as bad as St Mary's is an unreal suggestion, and I 100% agree with you and back you on that one.
Oxford United are next up on the list. Now, I think this is another one where I'm going to go. I think it's a bit of an underrated fan base. Although I should say, and I should point out that we've had two incredible games against Oxford United, one of which we lost 3-2, the other one at Fratton Park we won 3-2 this season. So I've probably been exposed to some pretty decent Oxford limbs, lots of yellow flares flying everywhere, home and away. I was going to initially go loud. I'm interested to see how you feel about Oxford United.
Mate, I'm actually backing you on this one. Like, it sounds a bit weird because when we played them away, it were absolutely freezing. They saw a lot of fans. A lot of fans attended to the game.
You took like 1,000, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, but I'm on about their fans. Their fans were pretty decent as well. They've got that singing bit behind the goal. However, when we played them at home, so they come to the Rotherham ground, mate, scored first, and oh my goodness, it were mental. I didn't expect it to be that sort of.
They are underrated, aren't they?
They are. They're not. But they didn't bring that many. But when the ones that they did bring were very loud, mate. They're actually very decent. As soon as they scored, me and my mate looked at each other and we were like, "Oh my goodness!" So I'm backing you on that one. It's in loud for me.
Plymouth Argyle are next up on the list, and Smithy boy knows the little bit of a kind of semi-rivalry between.
Has it gone off again?
Yeah, it's doing my edit. Right.
You can't be saying shit like this, make me laugh. Look at them biceps.
A lot of people would be probably expecting us to go Plymouth for world-class fans. They've got an awful long way to travel. They've racked up the miles and they'll continue to do so next season. I'm not knocking them by any stretch of the imagination. I do not think they're world-class. I think they're going loud for me.
Mate, I'm backing you again on that one. Well, the reason being we played them sort of away. They brought a lot of fans, but they wasn't sort of too loud, but that's because we did beat them 2-0. However, when we played them away, they sold out and it were absolutely mental. Obviously, it was their biggest game of the season. But the best thing about the fans, I'm not even going to lie, there was a pub, and I forgot what pub it was. I forgot, to be quite honest. But we went in before the game when we played them away, and their fans were just mental and so nice, to be fair. In terms of how loud they are, however, I'd go in loud.
Pompey up next on the list. I am going to try and remain as impartial as I possibly can. Obviously, everyone will know by now. Well, you'll all know. I don't know if there's anyone out there that wouldn't know, but yeah. having been almost week in, week out since I was 18 months old, it's a little bit difficult for me to say anything else than what I'm going to say, but I think you're going to back me up on the old world-class shout.
Mate, bloody heck, they're literally going to think we've just like spoke about this before we've been up film, because I'm 100% agreeing with that. Obviously I've been to some away days with you, and the fans were quality, especially at Lincoln. How good was that, by the way? That were incredible. To be fair, how far it was, the amount of fans you brought was actually impressed me. You're actually very good. Massive club as well. You can't even lie. And I reckon you probably would have had the best home attendance. The only thing letting you down is you had that stand shut for a period of time. But apart from that, mate, unreal. Fans incredible. And in terms of how nice they are as well, I know since I've been obviously great good mates with you, spoke to a few Pompey fans, and they're so nice as well. So I am saying world class.
Right, Rotherham United. Go on. So, or do you want? I tell you what. You've given us the big ones. Do you want me to give the appraisal first, and then you can make a comment? Since I've been as close as I am to you, mate, I've obviously been exposed to the Rotherham fan base, and I think they don't get enough credit that they deserve. I've been in the away end at QPR during your FA Cup run last season. I was pleasantly surprised when the goal went in. I thought it was top notch. That was a moment in time to witness, and obviously having been seeing your away fans, which you didn't bother coming down for, and then we've been at the New York as well this season together. So I've seen quite a lot of the Rotherham fan base, and I'm going to stick them in loud. I hope you're happy with that.
Yeah, mate, I'm more than happy with that, to be quite honest. Can you remember, this is a very good story, and I don't think I mentioned it in my video when you were there, but can you remember when we scored at QPR in the FA Cup, and my mate's knee popped out because it were absolute carnage? It were absolutely mental. He'll be absolutely buzzing that I mentioned that in the video, because he took some severe pain for them limbs. It was well worth it though. And the thing is, when we played Gillingham away, I think most people probably would have seen it if you've got social media, with all the fans being absolutely incredible. The numbers we brought, considering how far away it were, and the scenes and how loud we were, everyone was buzzing and up for it. And you even spoke to me on the phone sort of after that game, and you said it's changed. I don't know if you can remember, but you said it's changed your mind on Rotherham United Football Club. It were absolutely mental. By far the best Rotherham away day I've ever been on. It were incredible. However, I'm not going to be as biased as you and put ourselves in world class. But the only thing I'd probably say is lacking us a little bit is just our home atmosphere. Yeah, loud. I'm quite pleased with that, mate.
Sheffield Wednesday are next up, and I think this is another one that just goes straight into the world class tier. I know you're not going to be happy about this. I know we're probably going to get a little bit of stick down the other end or on the other side of your screen as you're watching this. I went to Hillsborough last game of the season, last away game. It was packed out. Last away game for us, it was completely, there wasn't a spare seat in the house, both in the home ends and in the away end. It is a very noisy place, one of the noisiest places I've been in quite some time. Give us, if you can, I know it's difficult to.
Yeah, it's going to be quite hard. It's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but they are world class. Like, I don't even want to say it, mate. Oh, bloody. You've come on here, you've invited me onto the channel, you've disagreed with me, you've had the final decision on where these people go, and you put these in world class. I'm fuming.
Shrewsbury Town are next up on the list. They will be in League One next season. I think we go quiet for Shrewsbury. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, you've been to Shrewsbury away, obviously. The numbers away sort of aren't the best. However, at home, they've got that, I don't know if you know, they've got safe standing as well. That also helps the atmosphere at home. But the main singing section is to the right of the away end. When they score, everyone jumps down and obviously gives stick to the away end. So I will go with quiet, just because they're not the best, but when they score, it's limbs.
Anyway, Sunderland are the last team that I think we're going to stick up in world class. I have got to say at this point that I've upset a lot of Sunderland fans in recent times, and I apologise for that. If you're one of those that don't like me very much, then thanks for sticking to this point of the video to watch. But I'm going to stick you in world class because I think you are a world class fan base. You only need to look at the scenes at Wembley a couple of weeks ago to see that. And obviously we had they had the highest attendance for the EFL trophy back in 2018 now.
It must have been 2019, because the last Wembley. Who was that against? Was it
2019. Pompey Sunderland, mate.
Yeah, I thought it were. Because I've seen it on your video, and it's all pyros, and I'm thinking you've obviously not been to Wembley for the playoffs or anything like that this season, so it must be from that, you know what I mean?
Nice, cheers.
Fine, mate, 4-0, won't we happy?
Any objections?
Short and sweet answer, no. the fans were probably the best when they come to the Rotherham ground. When we played away, obviously we drew 1-1 with a world-class own goal coming from Michael Ekwe, but the fans were pretty decent, so you can't even lie. One of the biggest clubs, obviously now promoted to the Championship, back where they belong, but a step further to where they belong. They belong in the Premier League, but they have been promoted, so they are moving upwards and onwards, and I'm buzzing to see them get promoted.
Wigan Athletic are next up on the list. I don't know about this one. I think straight down the middle, Wigan Athletic for me. Wasn't impressed by their away following, given that they could have won the title when they came down to Fratton Park. We ended up beating them, turning around a 2-goal deficit to win the game 3-2. If you haven't seen the video, links in the description. Massively worth checking that out. And then their home fans, I didn't think were anything special earlier on in the season either. So I might upset some Wigan fans by saying this, but it's occasional singing for me, James.
Yeah, it's such a weird ground. Well, it's a bit of a rugby ground, isn't it? It's quite hard to create an atmosphere. It's a little bit like Preston, but I think Preston do it in a little bit of a better way. But they just have a singing section down to the left-hand side of the away end, and it's just not very good. But when they score, it is limbs as well, and it is decent when they score. So I can see where you're coming with the occasional singing. When they come to Rotherham, don't really bring many fans. As you mentioned, they don't bring many fans to yourself. So occasional singing, I agree with that, to be quite honest.
Wicked. Wimbledon are next up, and sadly, obviously, they're leaving us down to League 2.
Yeah, mate, I'll put them in quiet.
Wycombe Wanderers are the last team that are League 1, and then we've got the next couple that we're not going to quite have time for, I don't think, but maybe we'll save that for a part 2 for a future video. So maybe you want to stick around for that. Wycombe, mate, I don't know how to feel about this. Obviously, they've come so close, and they obviously have been in the Championship in recent years as well. A fantastic manager in Gareth Ainsworth. In terms of fans, how are we looking?
I just compare them with Sunderland. Well, when I say comparing, obviously Sunderland at Wembley sold out loads of tickets, sold above their fans as well. Like halfway above their away fans, and they didn't sell that many, and it's quite close to Wembley, so obviously there's a major difference there. I'll put them in quiet, if I'm quite honest with you.
Well, what we'll do is we'll keep the rest of those. We've got Derby, we've got Exeter, we've got Forest Green, we've got Barnsley, we've got Peterborough, Bristol Rovers and Port Vale. We haven't seen them in League 1 for a little while, for some of those forever, for a couple of them as well. We shall see what that brings next season, and we might even jump back on here this time next year and do the full listing, as hopefully both of our clubs will then be in the Championship by then. Hopefully you boys can stay up as well. I'm hoping that is the case.
Honestly, I've been teaching him some proper South Yorkshire lingo. All he keeps saying is the word class. I keep having to go at him to change it up a bit to class, and it's not class. So hopefully the accents have proven that mine and the South Yorkshire one is better. Thank you ever so much for having me on again. I'm sure I'll probably be on again. You'll definitely be featuring on my channel in the next couple of weeks. We've already planned the videos. Mate, Fournil is an absolute legend. So if you don't subscribe, it's a you problem. You don't get much better appraisals than that, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. It was a load of fun. Hopefully, oh my fucking lord! Right, hang on a second. It's not even funny anymore, is it? It was funny at the start, but now it's just annoying. Right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe down below. Look out on James's channel over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be doing similar stuff to this. And oh my lord. Right, the light's gone off now, so see you later. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll catch you very soon.